Using these tips, we will now solve some true-false not given questions for a sample passage.
I prefer to first read the questions. Let us read the first question. It says, archaeologists realized that the boat had been damaged on purpose. Okay, so that means we have to find a paragraph that discusses about the boat being damaged. Now let us come to the paragraph. It was 1992 in England. Workmen were building a new road through the heart of Dover to connect with the at the base of a deep shaft 6 meters below the modern streets of a wooden structure was revealed. So till now there is no discussion about boat, hence it is not likely that we will have our answer in this paragraph. Let us read further. Cleaning away the waterlogged side overlying the timbers, archaeologists realized its true nature. They had found a prehistoric boat. Okay, so the discussion about boat is here. Let us read carefully now. Preserved by the type of sediment in which it was buried, it was then named the Dover Bronze Age boat. About 9 meters of the boat's length was recovered. Again, nothing about damaged. Okay. The seams had been made watertight by pads of moss, fixed by wedges and used stitches. See, so there will be words whose meaning you will not be knowing. Like there are words like you, I don't know the meaning, and I'm not even trying to find out, and I'm not struggling at the meaning of this word because it does not matter. Let us read further. The timbers that closed the recovered end of the boat had been removed in antiquity when it was abandoned, but much about its original shape could be deduced. There was also evidence for missing upper side planks. The boat was not a wreck but had been deliberately discarded, dismantled and broken. So deliberately means that it was not done coincidentally, someone actually discarded it by his own wish. So it is a paraphrase of damaged on purpose. Archaeologists realized that the boat had been damaged on purpose. And here the line is, the boat was not a wreck but had been deliberately discarded, dismantled and broken. So we got our answer. The answer to 6th is true. Let us move to 7. So you see, this is how I did it in my exam, so that I do it fast and I have time to cover up other questions as well. Otherwise, I could miss out on certain questions. So I went through the first statement, I read it, then I quickly jumped to the paragraph, I scanned it quickly and I skimmed read actually, and when I encountered the description that is in the statement, then I read it carefully. I started reading it carefully. Now moving to statement 7. Initially, only the technological aspects of the boat were examined. Okay. With hindsight, it was significant that the boat was found and studied by mainstream archaeologists who naturally focused on its cultural context. Okay, so here it is mentioned that when the boat was found, it was studied by archaeologists, and these archaeologists focused on its cultural context, while in the statement it is given that they examined the technological aspects. Let us read the paragraph further. At the time, ancient boats were often considered only from a narrower technological perspective, but news about the Dover boat reached a broad audience. So what some candidates do is, they read the word technological here, they read the word technological here, and they immediately write true. But this is a trap that the IELTS question paper writers make in order to confuse the candidate. So don't get confused, go by the meaning, don't go by the exact words. Here the sense is, initially only the technological aspects of the boat were examined, which means that the archaeologist or anyone who was examining the boat initially focused on the technological aspects. But this clearly contradicts with what is mentioned in the paragraph. In the paragraph, it is mentioned that it was significant that the boat was found and studied by mainstream archaeologists who naturally focused on its cultural context. Now, what is naturally here? naturally means that the first thing that came to their mind was to study the cultural context. Hence, they initially studied the cultural context. So, this is contradicting the seventh statement. Hence, our answer has to be false. Now, why have I not written not given? Because they have discussed about this thing. They have discussed that what aspect was initially examined. But the aspect mentioned here contradicts the aspect mentioned in the statement. Hence, it is false. Now, moving to point 8. Archaeologists went back to the site to try and find the missing northern end of the boat. Okay. At the time, ancient boats were often considered the 10th anniversary of the discovery that they were usually functions so this meaning alongside technical papers about the boat. Other speakers explored its social and economic contexts and the religious perceptions of boats in Bronze Age societies. Okay. Many speakers came back from overseas and debate about cultural connections was renewed. Within 7 years of excavation, the Dover boat had been conserved and displayed, but it was apparent that there were issues that could not be resolved simply by studying the old book. Experimental archaeology seems to be the solution. A boat reconstruction, half-scale or full-sized, would permit assessment of different hypotheses regarding its build and the missing end. The possibility of returning to Dover to search for the boat's unexcavated northern end was explored. But practical and financial difficulties were insurmountable, and there was no guarantee that the timbers had survived the previous decade in the changed environment. Let's read the paragraph further. It says, detailed proposals to reconstruct the boat were drawn up in 2004. Archaeological evidence was beginning to suggest a Bronze Age community straddling the channel, brought together by the sea rather than separated by it. Okay, and what is the ninth statement? It says, evidence found in 2004 suggested that the Bronze Age boat had been used for trade. Okay, so they are talking about evidence here. And they are talking about evidence here. So that means the answer to question number 8 has to be above this line. It has to be before this line in the above paragraph, because like I told you that the answers to the true false not given are given in order. So if you are not able to find answer for a particular question, in this case let us say question number 8, then go no further than the statement where question number 9 is discussed. There is no point reading the entire paragraph to find answer to question number 8, because answer to question number 8 will be above the statement where the answer to question number 9 is present. I hope you understood this. Let me clarify it once again. Question number 9 is, evidence found in 2004 suggested that the Bronze Age boat had been used for trade. So they are talking about evidence which was found in 2004. And in the paragraph, we see that archaeological evidence that was drawn up in 2004 is discussed in this line of this paragraph, this particular paragraph. So we do not have to go further than this paragraph. Let us read the above paragraph once again. The possibility of returning to Dover to search for the boat's unexcavated northern end was explored. Okay, so they explored this possibility. They gave it a thought that we could return to Dover to look for boat's unexcavated northern end, but practical and financial difficulties were insurmountable. But they were not able to surpass the practical and financial difficulties they faced. And there was no guarantee that the timbers had survived the previous decade in the changed environment. Also, there was no guarantee that the timbers, the wood, had survived the changing environment. Hence, they did not go back. But in the question number 8, it is written that they went back to the site to try and find the missing northern end of the boat. So this contradicts to what is mentioned in the paragraph, because in the paragraph they have mentioned that the possibility was explored but they faced practical and financial difficulties. Hence, the answer to this is false. Moving to question number 9. Evidence found in 2004 suggested that the Bronze Age boat had been used for trade. Let us read this paragraph. Detailed proposals to reconstruct the boat were drawn up in 2004. Archaeological evidence was beginning to suggest, okay, so they are describing what it suggested. It suggested that the Bronze Age community straddling the channel, brought together by the sea rather than separated by it. Okay, so there is no mention about what it was used for. In this statement, they have written that it was used for trade. But here in this paragraph, there is no mention about its usage. Let us read further. Maybe they have described about it in the further paragraph. The boat project began in England, but it was conceived from the start as a European collaboration. Reconstruction was only part of a scheme that would include a major exhibition and an extensive educational and outreach program. Discussions began, a small team, okay. However, the hull shape was at the center of the work, so modern power tools, Bronze Age objects, including many discoveries. Okay, so they have talked about evidence of 2004 just in this particular paragraph, and here they have not mentioned anything about the usage of the Bronze Age boat. Hence, it has to be not given. Okay.
So this was all for today's video. I hope you learned some important tips for how to solve your true false not given questions, and I hope that this video relieves some anxiety of yours. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to make more videos for true false not given questions. I will see you people in my next video. Till then, stay safe and keep learning. Bye.